Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Lorelei and Space Deviant.
We're going to discuss the differences between the movie, Project Hail Mary, and the book. And there are plenty of spoilers ahead.
That's not bad.
Amaze.
But before we get into it, I've been trying to work on an analogy for what it's been like as a moviegoer during the last 10 years. The best I can come up with is this. It's as if there's only one bar in the neighborhood.
And the bar is called the Hollywood Cinema.
You can't come in here.
What do you mean?
It's a private bar. You're not welcome.
You told me that I'm not good enough to drink here?
And 10 years ago, it seemed to come under new management.
The point is, know your place, Monster Man. Your time's up.
And it became company policy for bartenders to tell you they hated you and to spit in your drink before handing it to you.
Did you spit in this?
If you dared to complain, they'd say something like,
If you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button.
Or this drink wasn't made for you.
It wasn't made for him.
Project Hail Mary wasn't a perfect drink, but it was served with a smile.
And they held the spit.
No, look. I called the cop.
The sun is dying. Dr. Grace, I need your help.
I am a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
You have a doctorate in molecular biology.
The main differences, in my opinion, was they had him be kind of annoyed with Rocky moving in.
Hi, Grace.
You're in a ball.
So Rocky, no Diane, Grace atmosphere. I come up.
Oh, you're coming up.
Foreign body detected.
Grace and Rocky, big science. How to kill astrophage together.
I keep going this way.
When Rocky kind of invited himself in and moved in. Whereas in the book, he was thrilled to have Rocky move in. Because, I guess because you have to compress it into a movie, you don't have the time to take with his loneliness, because he was so profoundly lonely. And they take more time with the fact that his crew died and his memories a little bit come back. Not even a ton of memories.
So the guy was a little more humanist, or the main character.
Let me explain some of the science, because they have to skip over all of this.
Right.
But in the book, the science goes that certain people, because of your genetics, can go into deep comas, medically induced comas, and come out of it without their brain being mush. Not everybody can do it. When they're doing this project, they know they're going to have to put these people into a deep coma. That's the only way, as far as food supply and not murdering each other, that it'll work. But because it is dangerous and it's so many years, they're having to alter technology to nanny them, so the arms and whatnot. That's why they think that there was probably, between the mechanics and the fact that it's just dangerous in general to put people into that deep of a coma, that's why the other two died. They didn't make it super specific that X, Y, and Z went wrong and that's why they died. We knew from the jump it was super freaking dangerous.
I think this is a one-way trip for me.
Was it the Neanderthals or the...
Oh, they didn't say.
Okay.
They didn't say exactly what it was. It ends up being a Chinese dude, a Russian chick, and then the white guy scientist. But we kind of figure it out partway through, because he tests positive for having the genetics, and another guy lets it slip in the book. Oh yeah, you're one too. You're a candidate or something. You've got it. It's like, what? And she's Dutch in the book rather than East German. The Dutch chick, she's way scarier, but way less like a
German, Eastern German. That works.
Send in the clown!
It wasn't like, oh, okay, that wasn't a bad change. It's believable. It's within the realm.
They make her very sympathetic with her singing in the movie, and she actually seems like she's tearing up when she drugs him.
I'm not sure why they did the change, but maybe they just wanted to. Maybe the actor was. Sure, I don't fucking know.
Well, no, I can understand you wanting to make a female character or even a lead character more likable, because what she's doing is for the greater good.
Yeah.
How can this be for the greater good?
The greater good.
Shut it!
But when you're reading the book and it gets to the point where he's, oh, I just can't do it. And she's like, oh, bless your heart. Like that matters pretty much.
I'm not an astronaut. I've never done a space. I can't even.
That's the woman's sound.
I'm going to give you this, Project Blue Book, Juicy Juice serum where you're going to have low-key amnesia. I mean, not for anything that matters.
Yeah.
But you're not going to remember everything this past week. And by the time it does wear off, you're going to be balls deep into saving Earth. And I'm pretty sure you're not a scumbag. So you're going to do it anyway.
I'll make that deal. How about you bitch? You make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
But in the movie, she kind of seems like she's like sad, like, oh, I feel bad for you. And they have like the cool black guy that makes it easier. Like that guy was totally invented, his buddy. But I'm glad that was a good invention for the book. I mean, for the movie. And he was funny. He was good comic relief and somebody for Gosling to play off of. But it was her utter ruthlessness as far as this is the fate of the world. You're going to die in space. I have sentenced you to die in space. You're going to save the world while you're out there. And when you're reading it, you don't like her. I didn't like her when I was reading the book, when the way she dealt with other people.
So as far as that feeling, it's pretty close to it.
Yes. They work hard to make you like her in the movie. To me, I feel like they almost kind of made it like a big twist.
Okay.
Because her being willing to do that seemed more like the twist in the movie, whereas in the book, him being a coward was the twist. You assumed he was heroic. You assumed he is the teacher the whole time, was like, hey, if it's got to be me, it's got to be me.
It's an honor to die at your side. It's an honor to have lived at yours.
And then it gets down to it, and he's like, Meh. She's like, oh, sorry for your luck, bitch. You're going. And Russia and China can be real mad about it, and they're just going to deal with it.
Guess what? You're the man for the job. Psh,
yeah.
Let's go.
And he was. That's the thing. She was right. She was right. Morally, she may or may not be right. That's like a Cartesian logical whatever. You can go down the rabbit hole about whether or not what she did was right. But in the context of the book where there's not like a ton of people that were astronauts that could do it.
Yeah. So it'd be kind of like the greater good. You knew this shit, you get used to space.
Yeah, I don't care that you're going to die.
I don't envy you this task, but I do believe it is for the greater good.
You're going to do all right.
You're the only person who's probably going to live.
Has the intelligence and the knowledge base and to know how to be able to do the job. Yeah. Everybody else wouldn't even know what they were looking for. That's the problem.
Why is a school teacher in space?
Again, they play Rocky more cutesy in the movie, which is fine. It's great for the movie.
It worked.
It worked.
And
I think it made it family friendly for everybody kind of thing, with it being cute. The way he describes him is a mechanic from the 1950s who can create anything that you want. But he has no knowledge of transistors. He has no knowledge of... So I think of him as like an autistic, like, that ain't got no gas in it, but like a super smart version of that. But he was still only the mechanic on the ship. He was the space janitor, like Val Kilmer in Red Planet.
More color commentary from the janitor.
The correct term is mechanical systems engineer.
So that's why he lived, because he was down with the microphage, because they didn't know about radiation. They thought space was empty. They were a rock planet that didn't create technically rockets. They built this tower up through their atmosphere and then built the shit into space. That's why his ship was so big. They built a tower up into orbit.
Okay.
And constructed this giant...
Just kept making it out until the point that it was in space.
Yes.
And it was like, okay, well, you're just your own little thing. And they launch you out. Okay.
Yeah, because his atmosphere was like 9 times or 7 times heavier than our Earth. So
it was the same way where like all of his people had died on the ship and he was the only one that had been out there for a long time.
Yeah. He'd been out there 70 years. Waylaid. He could make the ship go. Here's another like thing that They made it goofy in the movie where Chase his ship away from him and he follows him. In the book, again, he's already the only guy on his ship. He sees the blip, and as he goes towards it, he stops. He moves 3, and then the blip moves 3. And the blip just copies every single move he makes until he's like, okay, well, must be intelligent, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's when he sends the first canister over to him at a super slow rate. And the guy catches the first canister. In the movie, it shows him not catching it. But he does. He gets out there, spacewalks it. And then the second canister, Rocky sends it right through his door. Like he goes to do another spacewalk. And it just shows with the book Rocky's intelligence that everything he does, he tries to make it as easy on Grace as possible.
So was it like a thrown thing or was it like a launched thing?
Ejected.
Yeah.
Because the whole outside of his ship has robot arms. He thinks spacewalks are horrifying. Rocky is horrified. The Grace, he calls it crazy.
I might have to read that book then.
I'll give it. It's really good. They go into way more of the science and the fact they have to breed up the microphages to survive the amount of nitrogen on Venus and on the third planet in Rocky's thing, which is like his Venus, because that'll stop the microphage because it has to, like, the infection has to go on that planet. Right. And it's cool, but then that's why, because breeding it up to resist the nitrogen is what causes it to be able to break down the xenonite, because before it was held in xenonite, like all the shit Rocky was holding, and it wasn't a problem. But it was after they genetically engineered it.
Metal or whatever.
Yeah, the glass metal. Oh, yeah. And then Rocky not being able... Rocky can't see. Rocky just sees sound. And for Rocky thinks he's testing the different substances for what's the strongest or what's most resistant, whereas he just chooses the one that he can see through. It's very... Their communication is more nuanced, and the way of thinking, I don't want to just like label it under autistic, but it's a great way of, because of the nuance of how Rocky thinks structurally and his ability to build anything. It just, when in the books, like, oh man, I cried reading the books. Like, the books are good. Like, several points. Like, when you find out Rocky's people are dead, that's why Rocky wants to watch him sleep. It's like, you let that rock watch you sleep. It's just so, it's so good. They make a bigger deal of it in the book when the spaceship, the fuel tanks get damaged. I'll never get home now, because Rocky had already offered to give him the microphage, because Rocky's people did not account for space-time.
The space-time continuum?
Well, I figured. What the hell?
Okay, so Rocky's people packed way too much gas for the trip because they didn't understand, like, the basics of space.
Guy would be like 900 years old.
They can live 900 years old. So the fact that his son is dying isn't going to kill them as quickly as it's going to kill us. They're 9 times more protected, if that makes sense. So it's going to go slower, and then their bodies are also going to decay slower. So the whole thing, he's got more buffer space. So him being like, I'm not going to get home for an extra 6 years is not the end of the world.
Right.
So when those tanks get damaged and he's freaking out, and he's just like, man, it's, I'm never going to get home even though I can't. And Rocky's just like, I can build you new tanks.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, you are stupid. Why do you not just know Rocky's going to build you tank? Don't waste time. You bored me. There's a beautiful matter-of-factness to the writing. Like I said, you have to... I felt so dumb. I was reading the book. I'm halfway through the book, and I'm like, man, this is so much like that. The Martian... It's the same author. It says on the front, like, from the writer of The Martian. It's like, oh, I'm a dumbass. But yeah, it reads a lot like The Martian, except for The Martian...
I'm gonna dip this potato in some crushed Vicodin.
There was depressing loneliness because he was truly all by himself surviving.
I'm the first person to be alone on an entire planet.
Book goes more into his starvation and the food stuff, like, because he wasn't starving yet, but he knew it was going to be bad. He knew he's going to have eat the stuff that you just put into your stomach when you're in a coma. And he was not looking forward to that. But, and in the book, the burger he is eating is made from, they cloned his DNA. So he's eating him burgers.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger. I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Silent breed is people!
Touch base about jerky. G said he was going to start eating regular food again.
This is a situation where art imitates life that imitates art.
It's like, I eat a me burger every day. And it's like, that's...
You're getting prions. Man, that's pretty...
Yeah. But he's by himself. But I thought they did the habitat better. Because in the book, it's kind of sad because it's all black outside of his dome. But the book, it's good. I recommend reading it. Their friendship is so good. And it's not just the friendship, there's just the communication style is incredible. Because the things that like one person assumes the other one doesn't, and back and forth, and how they help each other, and they solve this problem. And in the book, he saves Rocky earlier on, because Rocky saves him by crawling out of his, when he's in that death spin, and Rocky breaks out of his bubble and gets him to stop, gets it stopped. But he doesn't, it's not like he got back in his bubble. He was just out, basically kind of freezing to death, because, he's a super hot creature, and like our environment's, but it's burning. It's just the looks. But so our boy, Grace, deadlifts. He's a little bit in space, but there's still some gravity. Deadlifts him and burns himself all up and down his arm and part of his face. Shove him back into his container. So even when Rocky eventually, he almost kills Rocky because he power washes his vents with scabs. So again, the book's great. Book's great. There's just such two different creatures, two different species, but they're just, it's beautiful. It really is. The movie was enough, though.
Oh yeah. So it covered hit the main points pretty well.
They went into the scientists a lot more. In the book, they don't tell you that Earth survived. They don't go back and show you. What they tell you is when he's on the planet, like in his little pet habitat,
right,
the sun had stopped dimming. And they knew that it was basically because they were viewing that planet. It's not like they could send out a probe yet or anything because he got the beetles off. But they were watching the sun, and the sun had gotten back up to full power, and it had been like several years later. So he knew at that point. Yeah. So even if the Earth was still having a hard time,
right,
they were going to be okay. We get to see in the movie the Earth point of view that, yes, they're kind of in a frozen tundra, but we know they got the beetles. We know they're working on it.
So does the book kind of end in the same place where it did in the movie, where he's on the aliens planet, just like, just chilling out in their simulated planet. Like, this isn't life isn't so bad.
Like I said, it's a little bit sadder because it's not quite as pretty, but Rocky still loves hanging out with them. He still has the kids to talk to, which was sweet. That was like
so he was like a teacher.
He was a teacher.
Human teacher to the kids. That's cool.
But apparently the kids were actually like a minimum of 70 years old, and there's like a huge lottery for how they actually do it. He's like, it's hard to understand. But and the one other thing in the book that they didn't do in the movie, or they did opposite.
7 is like 70 in their years, so.
Yeah, they lived to be 900, so right. Nothing. It's like Ted. He's horrified by Grace eating in front of him. He's just like, that's why he never talks when Grace is eating. He's like, what is that? So apparently when he takes in his food, he does it the same gross way where he basically sticks like a canister up his keister. Got like one porthole that's his mouth and his whatever.
His eating habits are exotic.
Grace looks disgust when eat.
How do you look when you eat?
It look beautiful.
Show me. Oh my god. Oh my god.
But after he does that, he passes out for between 3 and 8 hours and can't move. And that's why their culture evolved to watch each other, because he can't wake up. But he's disgusted by it. So that's why he does that in private. So, Grace asks one time to watch him.
Like crowds?
There are some things that should only be done in...
All right, for science, I will let you see it. Was pretty gross. He write that that's in his own personal writings. He's like, I kept a straight face, but that was a lot. They made it a little bit goofier, a little bit sillier. They made Grace's character a bit more of a complainer. Because he doesn't get drunk in the books until after they succeed. Until they get the macrophages up, that's when he breaks out the Russian chick's vodka. He doesn't do it out of sadness. He just straps in. He just assumes that the coma shit, he's like, oh no, my brain is squishy. Uh-oh, because the other two are dead. And he assumes, he's like, he basically had a chemical lobotomy. Let's hope I can make it work. In the books, you can take time to show him grieving for the dead people, and you can't relate that. So, anyway, overall, worth the read, worth the watch. Both.
You are the bravest human I have ever met. Is joke. I only meet one human, and is you.
I get it.
What do you guys think? Have you seen Project Hail Mary yet? Are you planning to see it?
I thought it was worth a watch. It was pretty good.
It was great to watch. Read the book, or at least audiobook it, something. Give it a shot. Let us know what you think. Down below in the comments section. And regardless, thank you for being here.
America built to last. Yeah, that's right. No, that's right. They be flying that flag all night. Red, white, and blue.
Thank you for joining us here today. We really do appreciate your time. I'm Lorelai, and this is
Space TV.
And together, we are Southern Fried Cinema Siblings. And remember, the most important story is the story you tell yourself, so
make it a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You're still here, are you? Well, why don't you make yourself useful? Click the share button. Click the subscribe button. May as well go ahead and click for the next episode, too.